Hello there, how are you doing? Now let's begin writing code to learn object-oriented programming, and we begin with classes. Okay, so first of all we need to set up a folder, right? So this is where this is my folder directory. I'm using valid, but you could be using mam or vagrant or anything. All right, so let's go there and then create a folder. Let's, what do we call it? I've got a lot of folders here. Let me name it test, right? Test. Okay, so let me drag this to Sublime Text Editor. Okay, so inside this test folder, let me create my first file, and I'm going to name it, what do I name it? Name it book.php. Okay, all right, so php. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a class. Okay, and it is very simple. Class keyword, and then give it a name. What name you want to give to your class? Let's name it book. And by convention it is recommended that each file has only one class, and class name begins with a capital letter, and then class name is as same as the file name. Okay, that is the convention. All right, so class book, that's it. That's how you create a class. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so but it's pretty useless. What do we do? It has nothing, right? So talking about classes, class is the definition of what an object looks like and what it can do. Okay, so it is the definition. So within these two curly braces, you define the class with, how do you define the class? You define with properties and methods. Okay, so you might be wondering what is properties and methods. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Properties means the variables, okay, or variable inside the class. We call them properties. Okay, properties. So let's create our very first property. We will have some kind of bookstore. So bookstore, so the books, what they have normally, they have title, author, and so on, right? So let's begin with title. So normally we would write a variable like this, title, right? Title equals to something, but we're not going to give any value to this variable yet. We just declare the variable without any value. Okay, but in object-oriented programming, before also I was showing you, we have three types of visibility: public, private, and protected. Okay, so we begin with public, and I will come to this one in future lesson. Okay, so don't stress about this one. Just know that you just use public because the code inside this class would be accessible to the other classes or the code outside of this class. Okay, so they can get the values, set the values, all that stuff. So that's why we use this keyword public. So public means this code can be accessed from outside of this class. Okay, so just understand that much, and we come back to the visibility later. Okay, so talking about book, so book will have the property of title, book will have the property of ISBN number, right? Let's do that, ISBN. Let's create another property, and let's name it author, and finally one more, and let's name it available. So we are working in a scenario where we have a bookstore and we're going to do all that stuff. Okay, so we created our class, we added the properties. There's not much here. How do we use it? Okay, you thinking so? Then no worries, let's use it. So what we can do is we can instantiate this class. Okay, so when we say instantiate, it simply means use it. Okay, so you can create a class like this, and then you can use, or in other words, instantiate. It means the same thing. So we can instantiate it as many times as we need. So we might have 100 books, so we don't need to create 100 book object. Okay, we have this one object class, and then we can just reuse it. That's the whole point. Okay, so when the same class is instantiated or used many times, their properties and methods, which we come back, we have to cover yet. Okay, So they will produce different result based on the instance. Okay, it will not always be the same, otherwise it would be pointless. Okay, so let's write it down so it makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's create book, even let's call it, what do we let's give it a name, Harry Potter. Okay, so book Harry Potter, and we create a new instance using this new keyword. So Harry Potter, new book, and we instantiate a new book using this new keyword. Okay, simple as that. So let me copy this. Okay. So Harry Potter, we instantiate this class. Now we can use all these properties to assign a value to them. Okay, so let's set title, and we can set the title. In fact, let's begin with ISBN. So ISBN, let's keep some random number. All right, now let's paste again, and let's set the title to Harry Potter and the Magicians. I don't even know. I don't know anything about Harry Potter. Okay, so that's the title. Again, paste, and let's set the author. Who is the author? Ryan D. Okay, my name. All right, and then availability. So how many we have? Let's give it some number. Let's say 10. Okay, available, set to 10. Okay, so this is how we create a class, and we use that, we instantiate. Now you could have another book, you could have 100 other books, you could instantiate in a similar way. So having one object is enough. We can just instantiate many times. Okay, now let's have a look using var down. Okay, let me paste this one, Harry Potter. So let's have a look if all these properties we added are actually available. Okay, let's see. So let me open this in the browser. I named it test. Okay, so test, that's test, and then book.php. all right, so as you can see, we have the book object, and we have the ISBN number, we have the title and the magicians, we have the author name, and we have the availability to 10. Okay, so this is how you create a class and instantiate. Okay, now we could instantiate to some other book many times. You already got it, right? So this is classes and properties. Okay, in the next video we're going to cover methods. Okay, what are methods and how we can play around with our data. Okay, so that's coming next. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.